let's talk about the mental video technique, which is part of the Silva UltraMind training, which I'll be giving in September. And the reason the mental video technique is so important and so powerful in the training is because you can use it every single day. And you can especially use it when you're drifting off to sleep at night. That's the best time. You know, when you go into sleep, you lose your conscious mind and your subconscious is what's operating. So whatever you have impressed in your subconscious mind before you fall asleep, when you're drifting off, has a very, very powerful impact on how your life goes. Because if you're drifting into sleep with negative thoughts, that's not a good thing. You'll get more of the same when you're experiencing your three-dimensional world, because you're programming yourself. You want to program yourself for positive, good results in your life. I suggest you get a little card, you know, index cards are good to write positive statement of what you desire to manifest into your experience. Put it beside your bed before you fall asleep. And as you get into that relaxed state, take a look at it. It's always good to use all of your senses. Read it. You've written it down with your handwriting and you want to read it because that act of reading it impresses it more in your subconscious. And then when you close your eyes and you get yourself into that very relaxed state, feel like you've already gotten that thing that you've written down. When your conscious mind shuts down, when you go to sleep at night, your subconscious is operating. It never stops. I've proven that to myself. You know, I used to be able to fall asleep in any time zone, anywhere in the world, and say to myself, I want to wake up at such and such a time. And I would always wake up 1 or 2 minutes before the alarm, if I'd set an alarm, or before I was supposed to wake up. And my subconscious mind showed me that it actually was never sleeping. It knew what time it was, no matter where I was in the world. So it's important to program and impress our subconscious mind with positive thoughts of what we desire and turn our thought away from what we don't desire. This is why the Silva training is so good, because those 2 days that you experience it, I do a 2-day seminar, which is about 7 or 8 hours a day. You get a mental house cleaning. You get rid of all that negative programming that blocks you and keeps you from being able to go into those states of consciousness where you're feeling like you're already experiencing what you desire. Neville Goddard was another one who was very good at explaining how this works when he talked about assuming the attitude of the wish fulfilled. He went so far as to say, your imagination is God within you. That's why creative visualization, using your imagination to visualize what you desire, is so powerful. I learned this many, many years ago. Back in the 60s, I met a man who taught me how to write down what I wanted, feel like I'd already gotten it, and it would manifest. I tried it, it worked, and I went, this is unbelievable. So I've been studying it ever since, because I felt like I'd found the genie in the bottle. Well, a few years after that experience of meeting him, I wanted to have a transfer go through to the West Coast, San Francisco. I was living in New York City. So I decided to try it. And what I did was I visualized my transfer going through and moving to the West Coast, leaving New York City. Transfers had not gone through for years. That's the way it was in the airline industry years ago. Things moved very slowly. You know, you had to wait for people to die or transfer out of the base in order to get there. And there had not been any transfers for a long, 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 long time. And I was a very junior flight attendant, but I visualized it. My transfer went through within just a very short time. I got out to the West Coast, and the darndest thing was I started to hear that there were flight attendants more senior than me whose transfers did not go through. And they were upset about it. They wanted to know why. Well, I just, you know, heard that and I thought, that's very interesting. But it made me realize it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. If you needed to get out of jail and your consciousness was in the right place, you would get out of jail. Your subconscious mind, working with your higher intelligence, the God within you, would figure out a way if you totally believed that you did not belong in jail. When you totally believe that you own something, whatever it is, more money, relationships, work, whatever it is, better health, you will manifest it when you completely believe that it's yours. Now, how do you do that? You have to work on programming your subconscious mind every night when you're falling asleep. And you can do it in the morning when you wake up too. It's always good to do it at least twice a day. You can even do it 3 times a day. Do it in the afternoon. And you'll get more done lying on your bed, using your imagination and going into that state where you've already gotten what it is that you desire than you will when you're running around in the 3-dimensional world in your conscious mind, because your subconscious, being connected to the divine, knows how to make it happen in the most amazing ways. And once you become adept at it, you also begin to become less full of anxiety. The stress disappears because you begin to understand you've got the tool in order to solve any problem that comes up when you need a solution. Your higher self, the God within you, will never let you down. And that's the beauty of being a believer. So I invite you to try it. And if you really want to get good at it, take the seminar that's coming up in September. There's a link below. I'll give you a copy of my book, Secrets of a Metaphysical Flight Attendant, when you sign up for the course. And it can be life-changing, because once you really get good at using these metaphysical tools, which are learning how to go within, go into your closet and close the door, go into your subjective consciousness where there is no outside world. This is what every mystic, every spiritual teaching is telling you. There is no outside world, but you need to work on convincing yourself that your inner world is more real than your outer world. And in order to do that, you need to work at it a little bit every day, or even a lot every day, and live in that level of consciousness where you can do these things, because you're amazing. And you are made in the image and likeness of God. And just like Jesus said, you can do these things and even more. So just keep working at it, and you'll find that you'll become more and more and more at peace with yourself. And things will just come along effortlessly, and you'll be living in that wonderful state of flow.